Real Housewives of Atlanta star Drew Sidora stopped by the Angela Yee radio show to talk more about the season, her fight with K. Michelle. She explains what goes down at the season finale, and Angela Yee is telling her side of an incident that happened on the radio between her and K. Michelle.
Here we go now.
Welcome back to the Kempire channel, your number one source for pop culture news and music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. As always, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. If you're not a part of Kempire's Inner Circle mailing list, which is free, you missed out on the news. So join today, thekempire.com/join, so you don't miss out when I have breaking news. So we announced that the Kempire After Dark live show is returning for one night only here in New York City at the Green Room 42. If you haven't gotten your tickets yet, now's your opportunity. It's happening on September 25th, 9:30 p.m. So go get your tickets today. There's a live stream available as well. Ticket information will be available in the description. And we will be talking about Real Housewives of Atlanta. I know it'll be the end of the summer, but we will still be talking about Atlanta. They're going to be filming their reunion in about a week now. Cynthia confirmed that on her podcast this past week as well. So that should be interesting. No, we're not getting an after show. This would have been a good season to have an after show. But Drew Sidora has been on the promo trail this week here in New York. So she's done multiple interviews. I talked about some of the things that she talked about in her Housewives Nightcap interview. So be sure to check out that video if you missed it. But Drew stopped by Angela Yee's radio program to talk about the season. So for those of you that come at Drew for like, why are you bringing this? Why are you talking about this? Why are you on a press tour? They are required, a part of their contract, to promote. It doesn't matter if I like the housewife or I don't like the housewife. I will never say that because I clearly know if they're here this week in New York City doing all kinds of interviews, it's because they're required to do so. But the content of that, we talked about this before in regards to K. Michelle's press run, which she decided to use as a way to distract again. I don't know. At this particular point, us trying to make sense of K. Michelle is only going to frustrate us. It's only going to make us have the face. That's what's going to happen. Either way, we talked about the incident when it comes to K. Michelle and her ex talking about her vajayjay smelling. And she said that it was a scheme that Drew plotted and planned and mastermind with Phaedra and Portia to come at her on the show. Well, Angela Yee is telling her side of when K. Michelle confronted her on The Breakfast Club about said rumor. Well, first, let me just rewind the time and play for you what exactly happened during that situation.
It was kind of like, come on, Angela, like, dude, like, for real, like, you a woman. These right here they don't give a, they nasty, they balls hanging. You know what I'm saying?
If I get the chair.
Yeah, what I'm saying. I don't give a fuck about that, but you being a woman and you see me out here, you know what I'm saying? You brought that back up. You had already addressed that. There was no need for you to open your mouth, and then you sitting over there giggling and kikiing.
Mind you, this interview is from so long ago. I forget the year this came out. And the fact that Angela Yee is almost vindicated, it's so interesting to me. It took a long time. But I'll play for you in just a second in regards to what Angela Yee had to say. But I want to continue to play what K. Michelle said during this moment.
No, I don't feel. I have to go back and see who brought it up because I remember it was in all of our notes. I don't remember that I brought it up.
You wouldn't remember it.
I don't know who brought it up.
You brought it up.
But I do feel like I was like, what? I did say, why would you say that?
You brought it up. You sat there and chuckled. You did that, and you don't.
And this tracks to what people have said about K. Michelle. She always seems to attack women as opposed to the men. She gives men a lot more grace than she gives other women.
Know what that might have done to me if I wasn't a that was drinking her drink, cashing her checks out there. It might would have up my whole motherfucking day. My thing with you is the fact that you are friends and family of the label. You have to do a job. But maybe before you open your mouth, when you do your job, you should look at the time. You was at my listening party. You knew that album was coming out. You know how the media attacked me. So you know any negative headline that they can put up about me to overshadow my music is what they do.
But
thank God
I do feel like I came and I always show support for K. Michelle.
Well, what you did was
But one thing about K that I would say.
So, fast forward to 2026. Angela Yee, during this interview with Drew Sidora, is telling her side. And it's quite interesting because when you listen back to what she said to Angela Yee, really just guilt-tripping Angela Yee, making herself, K. Michelle, the victim, and almost probably jeopardizing her relationship with Atlantic Records at the time, saying that, oh, you're supposed to be a friend of the label. You did this, you did that. You jeopardized what this album can mean for me. Making herself the victim. It's so crazy to me that years later, this has aged so beautifully. I don't know. Let me play for you what Drew and Angela talked about on her radio show.
I think she tried to insinuate that was a part of the scheme.
Yeah.
But you have a history. So I'm like,
yeah, I mean,
at
like,
this point, what can you share? Can you share something, please?
Well, I will say that I did feel like we had this interview on the Breakfast Club, and they made us sign like this. We have to sign to be on, and they never have made us like sign before we did the interview. It's always like sign this release after, because it's not a big deal. It's like if you wanted to use this on Real Housewives, they might hit me up a month from now and be like, hey, can we, get this footage? No big deal. But they were like, no, you got to sign it before we tape. I was like, hold on, like we're about to do, no, you got to sign it first. And then all of a sudden the cameras came on and it was like, as a woman, and it turned into this whole thing. It was
Now is it making more and more sense? Because remember, I don't know if it was for her own reality show at the time or if it was for Love and Hip Hop that she's referring to. So Angela Yee is saying that she had to sign this release before this interview from years ago. She had to sign the release, and she was just like, this was weird that they were trying to get this release. So it wouldn't shock me that production was in on it. It wouldn't shock me that K. Michelle was in on it. And now it's making more and more sense, some of what K. Michelle's doing now on Real Housewives of Atlanta. She is the plot in the scheme.
Scene.
And I was like, I didn't say nothing about you that was bad. It was something that was in a song that, and I just felt like, okay. And then on the exit out, it was like, how is that going to be for the cameras? And I just felt like, I could tell that between the sign this release first and by the time you left, I knew it was like, okay, this is going to be great for the show.
Oh.
And so I felt like that's what it was. So in that, I was like, Angela, don't get him nothing for them to be able to like manipulate this, put it on TV, edit. I was just really trying to be like, all right, I'm not going to say nothing. You got it. Like,
got it.
Yes. Yeah.
So she's confirming that literally once it was done, that was their reaction, allegedly. But here's the thing. I think if Angela told this story right after that happened, that people wouldn't believe her. And I'm sure there are some people still right now do not believe Angela Yee. But I believe her just because, again, we've seen a pattern of behavior with this individual. We haven't seen a pattern of behavior from Angela Yee being a liar. So now we're seeing a pattern of behavior. Are you doing these things because you are trying to create television?
Is interesting, you know.
And then after that, I really haven't I don't really talk about it or get into it, but I just feel like all the time it's like, Angela this, and it's like, I honestly don't really care. And I think even watching the show, even bringing that up in that interview, I felt like it brought attention to something that it didn't need to have attention brought to it again. You could have said it to me separately and been like, I didn't like that.
Yeah.
And I would have been like, oh, that was never my intention. Because I think intention matters. And I think.
Do you also realize what she's saying? K. Michelle is the one to bring attention back to the whole rumor. The same way now in 2026, how many years later, she's bringing attention to this rumor. The way that this is all coming together, and the fact that K. Michelle could have really went on with her life and her career and just worked on her music and things like that and never did reality television again and would have been known as, she had her moments in reality television, but she did have some iconic moments. Hence why I said I was excited about her being on this cast, now I can admit that I was wrong. Because now K. Michelle, fast forward in 2026, is being exposed for all of her antics from over the years. And some of you are saying, like, we knew this a long time ago. I think we knew it on some level, but I don't think we knew the depth. And hearing Angela Yee tell this story is so interesting to me because this reunion is going to be really interesting. And then, you know, a lot of people say, Shamia's going to get it. She's going to have a terrible reunion. I don't think that K. Michelle is going to have a terrible reunion. I think K. Michelle is so delusional. She will, even if it's terrible for her, even based off the viewers, she will paint it in a different way. That's how delusional she is.
My intention is never like to try to play somebody, but I think that sometimes on reality TV, people like to have things that they can use to be like, yeah.
Yeah, and that's not how I operate either. Like, I will, try to get to know everybody because that's my intention. So I'm not the girl that's going to dig up the dirt and try to get a receipt, but I will keep one. If you try to pull my card, I will.
Pause. Your own friend, Portia, says that you are that person, though, Drew, that you will dig up information about people that you don't like. Just saying. Your own friend said it.
Receipt,
honey, because we got to have it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to, people want to say, oh, Drew lies. No, because I always have the evidence to back up whatever I'm saying, but I'm not going to go and find it. I'm not going to go search for it. I'm not going to try to do anything to destroy another woman. But if you come for me, I'm more than capable of defending myself, standing for myself. I'm not no punk,
Right.
and I'm not going to allow someone to bully me. And I've been, maneuvering this group for a while now.
Yeah.
So it's like, and the group has
You're
changed.
getting used to it.
So I'm like, this is what we're not going to do. But as long as I'm here, I'm going to be genuine.
Well, you pulled up a receipt where she DM'd him. Was it like, hey, handsome or something like that?
I mean, well, it's a lot of things said. And, you're going to have to watch because the finale is crazy.
Okay.
It's crazy. And it goes down. Literally, it goes down because
So apparently the finale is that K. Michelle listening party. I'm hoping the project will be out by then because I know she released a single, but I don't believe the project has come out. And this is coming from someone that was actually looking forward to K. Michelle's country music career. So now it's going to be overshadowed by K. Michelle's delusions of grandeur on this show.
goes at an all time because it was like, no, you've been perpetuating this story and now we got to set the record straight. So we have a moment and there are things that you will find out and you will see the truth. And I think the people are smart watching, like we know the truth and people can see what's fake and what's not. Mm-hmm. And right now I'm like, girl, what are we doing?
Right.
Like,
you said that you don't really fit in to the... Do you stand by that now to say, or because, I saw when there was a conversation happening, like, well, maybe that wasn't the nicest thing to say, like, you don't fit in.
Well, she had said to me, actually, that, I'm about to be out of the group. That's what she said to me.
She told you
numerous
you were
times.
about to be out of the group?
Yes. She was saying I was about to be out of the group. And I'm like,
how?
But you haven't been here that long. Let's see if you last. And you don't fit in. That was my response to her,
Just pay attention to the... K. Michelle will always tell on herself. Pay attention to the context clues. Because at first it was her beef with Portia. Even in some of the interviews that K. Michelle has done, she's talking about how the fans love the vets. She's talking about Portia wanted to be the number one person here. And Portia, I don't believe is giving that energy even behind the scenes. I think this is all in K. Michelle's head. K. Michelle is thinking that she was going to be HBIC on this show. I don't know why she would think that, especially coming in as a newbie. Maybe she could have eventually grown to that, but the Bravo universe doesn't know who you are.
Coming at me a lot of different ways where we almost literally had a fight. So I'm like, listen, I'm not used to fighting. I don't do that, but I'm more than capable of fighting if we need to. But that's not the energy I operate out of. But yeah, she had said a lot of things to me that I'm like, where is this energy coming from? I don't know her. I was looking forward to getting to know her. So
yeah, you guys are both singers.
Yeah.
In your own right. But like I said, and I've told you this numerous times, I don't like people trying to play with your accolades because you have honestly such a long history of being Drew Sidora.
I have my box office movies.
Yeah.
She has her album from 2013. She hasn't won a Grammy. I haven't won a Grammy. So I think we're both going for, a Grammy at this point.
Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord. I know the fans are going to run with this. Look, as someone that has listened to K. Michelle's music, and we've talked about this in the first episode where Drew tried to throw some shade. Again, we have to remember this is a confessional after the season. So some of that shade was probably stemming from what happened between them during the season. But even then, in the first episode, when she was shading K. Michelle, oh, does she do music or something like that? I was like, Drew, you can't do that. In the same way, I don't let people play around when it comes to Drew and her accolades and what she's done. But in this particular moment, I'm going to let Drew have that comment because Drew is coming after this woman after she's been coming after her for no reason. And now is creating this narrative or creating some sort of storyline. She's plotting and scheming and making Drew Sidora the villain in her head. I'm still going to hold out hope. I don't know why. I'm still going to hold out hope to see whether or not K. Michelle will be vindicated. And I'm willing to say I'm wrong if she ever is. And like I said countless times, I don't put it past any of these housewives to plot and scheme and set newbies up. I just don't think that's what's happening here. The proof is literally in the pudding. Guys, as always, I want to know your thoughts and opinions on what we just talked about. I want to know where you stand. Did you watch the entire interview with Drew Sidora and Angela Yee? Be sure to let me know your thoughts on that. And don't forget the Kempire After Dark live show. Topics like this one, but also other hot topics we will be discussing during the Kempire After Dark live show returning to New York City on September 25th at the Green Room 42. There are live stream tickets available as well. Ticket information will be available in the description. Let's sell out the show. I keep saying if we sell out this show early enough, we can add another one. Just saying. Guys, as always, be sure to like the video again, as always, and be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. Thanks for watching.
Here we go now.